How to Homeschool Math Part 2. Okay, in this video, first of all, if you don't have your math roadmap in place where you have a clear understanding of what you're supposed to teach in math and kind of when, I'm going to invite you to go back and watch the introductory video. In this video, we're going to touch on curriculum and how to use it to actually teach homeschool math. So I wish I could tell you that this is the perfect math curriculum for your kid. The reason I cannot say that is all 5 of my kids used different math curriculums, and what worked for one did not work for the next one and did not work for the next one. So when it comes to math curriculum, it's it's almost a shot in the dark. You will do well to ask people around you that you know that they've homeschooled and you know that their kids have done well in mathematics. Ask them, what top 2 or 3 math curriculum did you use that both you and your kids loved? And I'm guessing if you ask 3 people, you're going to get 5 different answers. It's just the way that math works out. Understanding what you need to teach and where you're headed mathematically really makes all the difference in the world. Math curriculum is a set of topics and problem sets for your kids to master a certain set of skills in basically arithmetic or algebra. Those are likely the subjects that you're going to be teaching. I'm going to be talking to you about arithmetic more just because I really have a firm opinion that we don't spend enough time teaching our kids arithmetic, those basic foundations. So you're going to grab some kind of math curriculum. There are free math curriculums that you can borrow from the public library. So please know that. You can go get a book on kindergarten math and you can start right there. You can also get workbooks at your local drugstore, grocery store, bookstore, etc. You can even go online and ask in homeschool Facebook groups or social media groups, and sometimes there are math curriculum swaps or curriculum share type things. So finding the actual books won't really be the issue. What I would recommend is that you find a book that you like when you look at it. The reason I say that is, I've touched and used probably half a dozen, maybe a few more different curriculums over the course of our 25 years. And if I didn't like the book, I had a really hard time teaching. And so for me, it was important that the math curriculum was not overwhelming on the page. My eyes really needed white space around the concepts that were being taught. So if the pages were too crowded or the font was too small, then it really made it difficult for me as the homeschool teacher. So when you're looking for a math curriculum, take yourself into consideration as well. When the kids got higher in math, it was very important to me that that the teacher's handbooks didn't just tell me that the answer was 12, but I needed to know that this was the problem, this was step 1, 2, 3, and oh, by the way, the answer is 12. Now, I can competently do math all the way through algebra. It comes pretty easy to me. However, knowing how to do math and knowing how to explain how to do math are 2 entirely different things. And so when you have like I had multiple children at the table, I really needed my teacher's manual to show me step by step how to solve a problem for all of the reasons. Sometimes I would look at the problem and I would just forget because I was so focused on getting the baby down for a nap or trying to figure out what I was going to be making for dinner that my brain could not comprehend the problem. And so I needed the teacher's solution to be sitting there as either a gentle coach or a crutch for me, depending on where we were in the day. Also, there were times where I had 4 different kids at the table doing different math, and it's challenging to jump from basic math to algebra and back and forth. So your teacher's manual, you may or may not want or need those solutions. I personally looked for teacher's manuals that had all of the solutions in them. Once you decide to use your best friend's math curriculum or your sister's favorite math curriculum, once you make the decision, before you teach anything, open to the table of contents and get some Post-its and figure out which concepts you know how to do. You absolutely know how to do them. Teach them yourself without cracking open the book. Just teach your kids blank piece of paper and a pencil, dry erase marker and the window, sidewalk chalk and a great piece of a driveway. Just teach the concepts to your kids, because sometimes, especially today, the math books might explain it differently than you remember how to do it. And constantly tell your kids things like, in math, there are typically multiple ways to get to the same answer. And so your math book may explain it one way and I may explain it another way. Both are right if we end up in the same place. It's the same way as if I give you directions to my house or my husband gives you directions to my house. We're both going to give them to you differently. But if you end up here, then they're both right. So understanding curriculum is the tool that you will use to teach your kids math. It seems pretty basic, but we can chain ourselves to that curriculum and think that our kids need to do all of the problems in the book, or you have to follow all the lessons in order. That's not so. I always looked at the table of contents first, because most of the concepts in the math book I understood. And it didn't bother me at all if my kids were going to be doing double-digit multiplication. Yes, they could do that on page 17, but they could also do it in the sunshine outside with sidewalk chalk. And so I was always looking for, do I understand the concept? Do I know how to teach it? And can I think of a way to make it active? And that's actually what we're going to talk about in the next video, is how to make math itself more fun. But before I do that, I just want to let you know that if you ask 12 homeschoolers what is the best homeschool curriculum for math, you will get at least 15 different answers. And that's because what works for you may not work for me, and what works for her may not work for him. And in my house, all of my kids needed different kinds of math curriculum. I used and loved Abeka math. I liked it because it was pretty, it was colorful, and it had enough space, and it was engaging for me. They also had a teacher's manual that I really appreciated. But we also used Saxon math, teaching textbooks, what's the one, Math You See. At the end of this homeschool journey, I can tell you that the curriculum itself means nothing. It doesn't matter which book. If you have not gone back and watched the other video, make sure that you do, and that you get your list of everyday math that kids need to master before graduating. Because you're going to see that once you understand, just looking here, that they need to understand how to handle money, paper money, coins, making change, that kind of stuff, or how to create a calendar. You don't need math curriculum to do that. How to teach them how to tell time. You don't need curriculum how to do that. You know how to tell time. You can teach your kids how to do that, or how to use a number line, etc. When you look at those concepts, you'll gain confidence if you allow yourself to teach from your own wealth of knowledge, okay? So curriculum is not the answer. Knowing where you're headed in homeschooling when it comes to math, that's the key. You need to know what the goal is, and then understanding that your math book is just one of the tools that you will use to teach math. So in the next video, we're going to talk about some of the other tools that you can use to teach math, and it's super fun. So I can't wait to see you there.